We're just getting to know Robert Saleh here in his first year as head coach. Leger knows him pretty well already. But, you know, for the most part, he's been a pretty optimistic guy, struck a pretty optimistic tone. The only time that he really seemed very down was after that second game against the Patriots. Today was the first time I thought he sounded pretty angry in that post-game press conference. He said 90% of games in this league are lost, not won. This game was lost, and he called that John Franklin Myers penalty unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, you like that from your head coach, right? Yeah, because now he's holding players accountable for what they're doing and calling them out on it. And that situation, that's a big-time penalty right there, because you're talking about only being down by 3 points with your offense going back on the field and Joe Flacco, and the way that offense had been moving the football, potentially going down to score a touchdown and being up by 4 points there. But you get a penalty right there, and it gives Miami Dolphins a fresh set of downs, and they ultimately go and score. Now you're talking about a 7-point swing. So right there, that's a 10-point swing potential right there because of one penalty. So Robert Saleh, just knowing him, he's a guy that's usually upbeat, optimistic. But, yeah, like you said, Steve, he sounded angry right there, and it seems like he's starting to hold these players accountable for these penalties because they're unacceptable.
Well, it's accountable only if it's some type of consequence to it, right? Because if Franklin Myers doesn't start or if he starts to take some of his reps back, but how do you do that? You know, you don't expect that from somebody that you just paid money to.
Yeah.
You expect him to be
then at the defensive end.
Right. You expect him to have self-control and understand the situation. Like, it's times where you want to hit somebody, but you can't. You know what I mean? I understand how hard it is to get to the quarterback and work to the quarterback. But in the situation, you got to understand the gravity of the situation. It's more important for you just to pull up and get off the football field than trying to inflict, body blows to a quarterback at the end of the fight, so to speak. I mean, it was selfish and, hurt the team, and he's got to live with that. He has to look those guys in the eyes when they put up the 5 plays tomorrow, when they come in and they have the meeting, they sit in and they go over the game before they break up into individual. He's going to say, listen, we can't have this crap, right? Well, he's going to have to put the target on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's walking out of MetLife 2-8, right? And then on top of that, he's looking at a bunch of young guys who he's probably talked to individually and as a team setting over and over on how they should get better, and they haven't. So now he's like, what else can I do? So I think it's just a tag on frustration and anger. There's some known offenders, you know what I mean? Like, there's some guys
repeat offenders.
Yeah, repeat offenders. Some guys who's on his team right now who just aren't getting it. And Valley, you can deal with youth, you can deal with inexperience, but you can't deal with being dumb, right? Like, that's where it has to stop. So I think for him, he's just like, man, I don't know what else to do. If I'm talking to you one-on-one, you're being exposed in the team room, your position coach is getting after you, and you're not doing what we need you to do, and we got 8 more games of this. Come on now, like, it's a lot.